Star Report. I'm your host, Star, on a Monday night. How you guys doing? I've had an eventful day, and I'm here to talk to you tonight. I'm not sure about the topic. It's not trending. Responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. The definitions have changed, and the meaning over the decades. Voyeurism. That was, back in the days, not such a cool thing. That used to be equated with peeping Toms, people that, were the lowest of the low. Perverts, that's an old term, But in today's world, it's different now, and there's all sorts of different breakdowns. Holy smokes. Clinical definition versus... hold on a second. Responsible, consensual voyeurism versus clinical disorders. I think they're all weirdos. They're all weirdos, but we're going to discuss it now. This topic has been inspired by someone who I have a lot of respect for. And I'm going to go on his show when I finally get up to New York on business during the holidays. Joe Budden. That's my guy. And he does a show. I'm not sure. I've only seen the show once before. It's not the regular Joe Budden show, And pardon me, I don't know who his either girlfriend, fiance, or wife is, but let's all be respectful. He's sitting on a little couch area. And I know one of the guys parks, and I'm not sure. There's another guy with his wife. I don't know their names. Is it Ian? I think it's Ian. I've seen it, but again, I don't watch the show on a consistent basis because I don't want to critique people. I don't want to always have an opinion on something somebody said. I don't promote tension, beef, and or drama. You guys know this. But this topic has been inspired by Joe Budden. Okay, he was sitting on the couch and he admitted to being again, there's newer terms. Just he's a voyeur, I guess. And his girl, can somebody give me his girlfriend's name? Are they married? I want to be respectful. She's doing all the talking as black women do, but you can tell Joe likes her, and he, I guess that's what he likes because he extended his hand to hold her hand. I know nothing about her, so again, I don't know the full backstory. But Joe has admitted to this type of lifestyle behavior. Yes? A cuck used to be a bad thing. Is being a cuck now cool? Again, I got a bunch of notes. Sunday may or may not chime in to help me with all these breakdowns because I spoke to her earlier and I was telling her about the Joe Budden video, and she said, well, Star, it's different now. And I said, really? And then she started doing a deep dive, and I said, whoa, can you call in to the show and, regurgitate what you're saying? So that's my title, Responsible Voyeurism versus Criminal Voyeurism, right? In most states, voyeurism is illegal. People have gone to jail, will go to jail. This is a sick fetish for the most part. I've got two videos I want to play, aside from, I'm going to play the Joe Budden clip to give you guys some context. But, I just, times are different. Now, also with regards to Airbnbs, I know there have been stories over the years, and we've given some of those stories where all sorts of camera devices have been planted up in the light fixtures, sprinklers, air conditioned vents, and all sorts of stuff to watch people. And this is a big thing. Let me look in the live chat and see if anybody in the live chat, do you partake in voyeurism? Phone lines are open right now because we're not just going to focus on the Joe Budden podcast. This topic of discussion, I'm a little thrown off that this is now a cool thing in society. I watched two videos earlier and some really weird, grimy looking chicks trying to justify everything. And as I said earlier, trying to break down all the clinical terms and speaking about the disorders. Yeah, it's a disorder if you ask me. It's a disorder, but you guys are different. And when I say you guys, I mean the majority of today's viewing audience and listening audience, different parameters. So I have to respect that, okay? All right, phone lines are open, and thank you, Varnell. I got your donation early. We're going to discuss 6ix9ine, rapper 6ix9ine, Tekashi. I'm concerned about his mother. Not so much him. He's a goofy. He's always doing something. But there's video footage of her, his 60-year-old mother, in Florida. And it appeared to be 4 skinny Hispanics. You can see them in the home. And her voice is trembling. The dog is running around. But they did not hurt the dog. They did. I was worried about the dog, to be honest with you. They didn't hurt the dog. They were trying to get cash and the keys to the cars. And at this point in time, no one has been arrested. Okay, so that's a big trending story. Palm Beach is where this happened. If I didn't mention that already. Okay, all right. Sunday, are you ready? David D. Cordova. I'm sorry. He wants to chime in and clarify something as well. All right. All right, let me look in the live chat real quick. Any thoughts on this topic thus far? Responsible voyeurism. I'm not sure if this is something that really has legs to it, or is this just some freak mode thing? I saw maybe 6 or 7 years ago. What's the actor's name? Morgan Freeman. I saw him do an interview, and he said, "I'm a peeker." He said, I like to peek, and I've never looked at him the same. I've enjoyed his work, but when he did that, hold on a second, Chuck and Javid. Okay, do you want to call in, sir? I've never looked at Morgan Freeman the same. Anyway, he says a cuck is when you allow another man to break your bitch off. That's not what Joe is. Okay. There was a part in that video where they spoke about being on FaceTime. So maybe what you're saying is true. Does Joe and his lady friend, do they go out and about? I want to be as respectful as I can. Does she get flued out? Before I take any calls, does she get flued out? Because you see, when these girls get, as they say, I mean, the correct pronunciation is flown out, but they say flued out. When they get flued out, that's like a tricky area of being an escort. But again, I don't know the full details. Sunday, there you are. Monday evening, thank you for being available. Sunday.
Yes, Star. I love this topic. I had to chime in. I have a thing or two to say about it.
Well, I don't know where we're going. You sent me some notes. Thank you. I pulled some notes. And again, I don't want to always look to the past because society is different now. You sent me via WebMD the difference between voyeurism, voyeuristic disorder, and criminal voyeurism. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so I'll start with the consensual voyeurism. Consensual voyeurism is very popular. I feel like a lot of people don't condone in society people that have a little bit more of a sexual appetite.
Okay.
Not everybody wants to just have missionary with a monogamous situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everybody wants to just come home to the same person for decades and decades. That's not for everybody.
Okay.
A lot of people want something a little bit different. And so voyeurism and being an exhibitionist offers something that it's a category of its own. So what I would say on that is it's popular. It's popular and people are exploring things. And It's very ethical. It's very appealing to an individual like myself and many people.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in. You just used the word ethical, and I keep coming across that word in my research. Ethical. Why is that word being thrown around? Is it to balance out the past definition and meaning of voyeurism and all the perversion that it has been known for?
Absolutely. I think it started off as being something very criminal.
Yeah.
It was criminal. It was a peeping Tom. It was non-consensual. It was predatory because we're talking about individuals that are misusing the category and acting out on innocent bystanders that didn't willingly participate in whatever it is that they have going on in their head. You know, whether it be secretly recording people in dressing rooms, recording people in doctor's offices when a patient is when a patient is sedated or undressed or in a vulnerable state. There's so many ways in which a person has been violated by this specific, kink. And it's all over the news. If you look on the news, it's not hard to find somebody who has been arrested, whether it be a person of high status or not. There's all sorts of individuals that have access to people in their intimate or vulnerable states, and they take advantage and record them for personal gain, or they try to, in some way, see them undressed because they couldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's unethical, that's criminal, and it's what most people associate those kinks with, because that's where it started from. Yeah.
Let me jump in right here. Let me jump in. So when did this turn happen? Because there's some people who we're just not buying it just because it's a new thing and it's chic and, the word ethical is being thrown around doesn't mean that we buy it. And again, what is that? Is her name Jules?
His girlfriend?
I'm going to write this down. I think the guy's name is Ian. And his wife, is it Jules, guys, on the Joe Budden clip? I think it was Jules.
Oh, I see.
Someone asked her, was she territorial? Or I'm forgetting the word. And she said, no, it's not about being territorial or, just insecure. Everybody just doesn't want to allow everybody else into the goddamn world. And I agree. If we're in business together, pimping and hoeing, or we're getting the bag, we're together for business reasons. You're running a webcam operation. Let's go. Let's get the money. But let's not pretend that what you have is so unique and special. No, it's community. Everybody can see you jam a toy in your ass. So as far as I'm concerned, there are certain boundaries, and I'm just not gonna follow society just because this is new. Go ahead, let me check my phone here. Somebody's texting me. I'm sorry, Sandy. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's just a sexual preference. I really don't think it's possible for somebody to impose what they think is right or wrong sexually. As long as it's legal, it's a sexual preference.
Okay.
It's not for everybody to be monogamous. It's not even fathomable for people who are monogamous to understand why this even makes sense. I think it's completely absurd for a lot of people to think that there's any way that two people can consent to this sort of lifestyle. It's a major kink. It's very controversial.
Okay.
I personally think it's great. I think it's great.
Okay.
But there is some.
Are people who are involved in this new reality? Is there any data to show that marriages stay together more, or are they not getting married, or do they just have arrangements? Because with all due respect, and I don't want to keep going back to Joe Budden, someone just sent me a text saying that Joe Budden and this young woman, they've been together for 6 years and he ain't put a ring on it.
Right. No, absolutely.
Okay.
I have a theory about that.
Okay.
I don't think marriage is for everybody. I think, first of all, marriage can be an opportunity for a woman or man to try and take half of what that person has.
Okay.
Or it's a financial opportunity for a lot of people. And it's supposed to be for other reasons, to build family, for love. But a lot of people prey on wealthy men or wealthy women. We see it every day. And so I don't think it's unheard of that he's not married to this woman. I feel like a real relationship should just exist without the union of marriage, because marriage for wealthy people is not as necessary as it is for common folk. Common folk rely more on marriage because there's more benefits. There's really nothing to take from the other person. Both of you guys are usually in the same economic status. Yep. And so there's not very much to take. But for someone who's wealthy, Rihanna didn't get married either. And I completely understand why they're protecting their assets in that way. Protecting yourself from owing alimony.
If I can jump, if I can jump in for a second, as the old saying goes, marriage is for poor people. However, whether they're poor or working together, striving together, I can respect that. And if they achieve things as a family unit, because not every guy is a boss, not every male is a man, not every female is a lady. So sometimes people come together and they blossom. I think that's beautiful. But with regards to marriage, and David D. Cordova, I think you should call in now. David, I see you in the email. Anybody else? Phone lines are open. Let's have the discussion. Call in. Marriage is not just the pursuit of money, assets, wealth, and stuff like that. Some people get married because they want companionship. They don't necessarily want to spend their lives alone, and if they need someone to be, I don't know, someone to leave things to or to benefit by way of. I think that's a good thing. Yes, by way of marriage.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But the dynamic that Joe Budden has, his children. He already had children with his previous.
Sunday, I don't want to keep going into Joe Budden. I just, I got the idea from watching that clip. I don't want to dissect them. Hold on a second. David D. Cordova's on the line. David, are you there? Good evening.
Hey.
David D. Cordova here.
Hey, man.
How's it going, sir?
I'm good. Can you hear me in Sunday?
Yeah, I hear you guys loud and clear.
Okay. Let me get your information on the screen. Today's religious talk. Now, we're talking about responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. Can we start there, and then we can go to, you wanted to clarify something about what we spoke about a couple of days back, black women leaving the church for witchcraft, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Let's deal with the main topic first, please.
Yeah, so as far as the voyeurism thing is concerned, me personally, I think it's a form of perversion. So I don't think it's right. And it happens for different reasons. Number one, it could just be boredom. People that, they've exhausted their activities and they just want to do something new. But I think it stems from an insecurity complex, and it's a fear-based psychology, because the fear is that my woman's going to cheat on me. And by watching her go through the act with another man, it kind of puts you in that position where you embrace the fear, which they believe is the inevitable. So I think it stems from a place of insecurity. So they're calling it a sexual fantasy or all these kinky terms to make it sound good. Okay. But at the root of it, I think it's based in fear. So you're just embracing, because sometimes when you're afraid of something, no matter what it is, when it happens, there's a sense of relief. Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird how psychology works? Like the thing that you feared the most, if it actually happens, you feel relieved because it can't get any worse than this now. So I watch if I see my woman screwing another man, I feel good. Thank God. Because now, that's what it is, It's a relief.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Hang on a second.
100%.
Hold on a second. Guys, I'm going to try and put your comments on the screen, but also if we want to do a panel a little bit later, just send an email and we'll go from there. So, Sunday, let's go back to you because you have a very good understanding of this. What else should we address with regards to the newer terms versus the older disorders? Sunday?
Yeah, I understand what David was saying, and I appreciate his commentary. And mind you, I think differently because I feel like when individuals who have kinks suppress that to be normal, they're deeply unsatisfied. Deeply unsatisfied. That appetite can't be suppressed because of shame.
Okay.
And stigma. There's a stigma associated. So what are we supposed to do? Just pretend? No, I think in a very loving relationship, you can be yourself. I think women who understand their partners, understand themselves, can explore these things. Because it's important for longevity purposes not to suppress your desires, your fantasies.
Well, let me jump in there. Let me jump in there. Doesn't life have morals, ethics, morals, and boundaries? Doesn't the fear of God give you, well, some people, I mean, I'm an atheist, but doesn't the fear of God give you a sense of how to conduct yourself and do right for those who believe? Sunday?
But not when it comes to sex, not that I know of.
Why not?
I think that...
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Well, I don't think it's anybody's place to stipulate how one should have sex as long as it's legal, right? And it's consensual. I don't think that anybody has a place to say what someone should or shouldn't do in their own bedroom. I think that they are allowed to create their own rules and their own fantasies and their own practices, as long as it's legal, like I said. Never
mind God's law. Never mind God's law, which clearly gives the outline. Can we get David to jump in there? I hear you giggling, David. Where do you want to go?
No, I'm just sorry. I said no sane man in this world wants to see his woman get plowed by another man. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn. That doesn't occur in the normal world. I don't know. Maybe at a higher tax bracket, maybe I'm not at that level. Maybe if you get rich enough and bored enough, you want to explore different stuff. But as far as I can see, I think it's dysfunctional and slightly perverse to want to see your girlfriend or your wife have sex with another man. And I just believe that stems from a deep place of insecurity and a fear-based psychology of infidelity. We live in a hyper-competitive masculine world. There's a lot of competition out there. And deep down in the recesses of every man's subconscious, you feel, is my woman going to find someone better? Or would she leave me for somebody better? That fear, daily, it manifests into these things. I think this comes from the fear manifested in this. It's turned into a recreational activity, because, if you just allow her to do it and watch it, now you're okay. You're in a safe place because you know what? It happened, but under your control. It's almost like you sanctioned it and you regulated it, and that makes it okay.
Let me jump in here for a second, guys. And again, Sunday, I want you to respond with regards to today's definitions and some of the things that people are looking to, because this is getting bigger. This is getting bigger. It's not like it's a subculture. I think it's pretty prevalent now. Do you think that laws are going to be reversed Sunday with regards to voyeurism, and they're going to break down what is allowed, what isn't allowed, and there will be some exceptions to the rule in different states?
No, I don't think the laws are going to be reversed or changed because a lot of people practice it criminally. You'll see a lot of the times in New York, if you go on the train, there's somebody flashing themselves,
right,
masturbating, groping women. There's a lot of illegal criminal activity around it. And so those laws protect people. But within your own bedroom, there are no laws.
Hold on. The reason why I ask, I don't know, is because if you can film your girlfriend, not even your wife, you have no legal commitment to her. If you can film her getting DP'd, double penetrated, skated on, and you can post that online, it's not even behind a goddamn paywall for all to see. Why can't I, relieve myself in a goddamn subway train station when no one's looking? No one sees me. Well, what's the difference?
Public indecency is totally different than what you do in your private chambers. I don't think it's the same thing, because people that happen to walk in on that or are just trying to utilize the same public space did not agree to that sort of behavior. And it's criminal. It's criminal. It's clearly defined that you can't be naked in public. It's public indecency, and that those laws protect people who did not agree to that. Okay. And also, sexual behavior, there's a time and place. It shouldn't just be at random at any time and any place. It's something that you need to schedule with your partner. You don't just openly do that in front of people. That, to me, is where it teeters criminal behavior.
Gotcha.
Even if you have two partners who are consenting to that activity, that doesn't give them permission to, expose everybody else to it.
Hang on a second, guys. Tariq, I got your comment on the screen. Folks, I'm looking for people to join the conversation. I don't have too much experience, actually none, with regards to being a peeping Tom, voyeurism. So we're going to open up the floodgates. Where is Gangster of Love? Is Gangster of Love available? Sir, can you call in, and let's just have a civil conversation. Is Gangster of Love in the live chat? Hey, Miriam, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Alejandro, good to hear from you, sir. Can we hold on, guys? Maybe we'll get a discussion going here. Peace. Area code 347. Is that King Simon? King Simon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you, man?
How are you? Sunday. David, how are y'all too?
Yeah, hey, King Simon.
Where do you want to start?
I'm good.
I'm great. Hey.
Good. I used to be a partner with a business partner with swingers.
Who?
I used to have swingers parties, events.
Swingers parties. Okay.
Yes. And at certain events, they was allowed to let voyeurs in, that people that just want to watch and see what's going on. It was consensual. Okay. Voyeurs. And again, I understand where David's coming from, because I've come from a religious background, but when I left religion, I went into the world of the underground. And I understand where Sunday is coming from. And respectfully, people in this realm, Earth is a learning center to both of you and all of you, that people are going to experience all types of stuff in this realm. And you really can't stop it, even if you have religious values or you're taught this, you really can't stop it. Because sometimes you have people that will buy a dog and have sex with animals. And you got to be very careful of that and call that consensual. They call that
bingo. Listen, we haven't even gotten there yet. Bestiality. I know. Bestiality. Hold on. Bestiality. Exactly. Because if we don't nip one thing in the bud, then it opens the door for something else. But now, hang on a second, King Simon. I know you. I respect you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a hardline view tonight? Please don't just say it is what it is. Each his own. You're a knowledgeable man. Hang on. You're a knowledgeable man. You have lived, very religious. Yes. You're a numerologist, if I said that right. Yes, sir. What is your hardline? What is your hardline view on this topic, please, King Simon?
The hardline view is, like I stand, that people are going to do what they're going to do. When I was in that event, I enjoyed it. I was a voyeur myself. I can't say I wasn't a voyeur. It was all consensual. It was all heterosexual. At that time, I was enjoying it. And then when I stepped away and said I was not going to do that because I got tired and just, and I was just making money to see this type of stuff, then I stepped back into my own spirituality and spiritual.
King Simon, I want to know about now and not other people. Hang on. Not other people. What is King Simon? Where is he at on this topic?
That's what I'm saying. Now I'm more spiritual and I'm away from that type of stuff. Okay. I don't do it. I'm not into that. So that was back in the 90s, late 90s, going into the early.
Is this debauchery against God, King Simon?
If you're religious, yes, it is debauchery against God if you're religious. But if you're spiritual, some people says it can be ritualistic in certain spiritual systems. Like Aleister Crowley used to do certain things. Blavatsky and all those people used to do certain things in the name of rituals. And what's the name? Wrote a whole book. Pascal Beverly Randolph wrote a whole book about sexual magic. So it does exist in all different realms. It is. It could be debauchery to some people, but it's a matter of perception in the realm of learning and experience called earth. Simple and point blank and simple. So everybody got their own perception. Again, you got certain states that allow people to have sex with children in certain states.
Stay with me, King Simon. Sunday, do you want to jump in here? I'm still not clear on King Simon's position.
I just told you. I'm in the spirit. I'm not going there when you start. Not today.
Sunday.
I'm good.
Sunday. Where's Sunday?
Yeah, I'm here. And I hear what he's saying. So my thing is, I don't think it has anything to do with religion. I think that like I said, nobody has a place to tell somebody how they can have sex with their partner if it's consensual and legal. It's not our business. And in fact, so many people live such a double life in society, and that has a lot to do with it. You know, you shame somebody to the point of where they can't really be themselves, and then they become criminal. I think that there's an origin in shame and criminality. Truly, there's a correlation between the two. And I think that when people are encouraged to kind of live their truth and be allowed to experiment with their partners consensually, then there's less of the criminality, there's less of the sexual repression that causes individuals to act out on others. That's what I truly believe, so long as it's consensual. But again, I don't see how religion has anything to do with what goes on in a bedroom. It doesn't make sense to me to put the Bible in the middle of your bed. Now, if individuals, I mean, I'm just being honest. Now, if somebody is...
I'm actually agreeing with you, Sunday, because,
I agree with it too.
Celebrating the flesh does not mean that you are bound to any doctrine. David, stay with me. Okay, Gangs of Love is on the line. Can we get one more person and not talk on top of each other? Gangs of Love, thank you for your patience, sir. Are you there? GOL.
So, what's going on, big homie? How you doing?
Responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. What say you, Gangs of Love?
Oh man. So let me ask you this: are we just talking about the whole transgressions of sex, or just what that is? Because
sir, I don't know. Your name is Gangster of Love. Guys, somebody fix the background. We've got an echo, please. You've got a podcast coming. Your name is Gangster of Love. You're a married man, beautiful family. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
What do I know?
Oh,
tell us.
Okay. So let me start off here. And hey, Sunday. Hey, David. And hey, Simon. What's up, troll babies? Love y'all. So I come from an era of growing up in the 80s. And when I was growing up, oral sex was looked down upon. It was something like, if you told a girl to do that to you, she's looking at you crazy. So when I would ask my grandfather about that, he'd look at me like, boy, what's wrong with you? That's perversion. That's not something that you do. And so I've always grew up believing that. That's not something that I particularly care to engage in. And a lot of people look at me as a weirdo. But if you're into culture and you know anything about Jamaicans, they look down upon that too. And also Semitic people look down upon it too. I don't know how many of you guys are friends with Semitic people, but they actually, when they lay down with their woman, they cover her with a cloth that has an entry level for natural penetration, and that's it. They don't get into oral sex, and that's not to say that they're sexually...
I gotta jump in, Gangs of Love. Oh, that sounds hot, sir. Where are you in today's day and time with regards to voyeurism? Responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. You, sir.
I'm not into any of it. I don't want to watch somebody do their business. That's not really my thing.
Okay.
But I do agree that people should be able to enjoy themselves as long as they're not endangering children or putting other people at the as long as they're not involving others. But
at risk,
honestly,
at risk.
At risk of seeing, hearing. So everybody should be able to do what they want to do behind closed doors.
Oh my God.
So I have a quote liberal approach on that, if that makes sense. But I consider myself a conservative when it comes to the bedroom.
Okay, stay right there, gangs of love. David, you want to chime in because now we're getting away from certain areas with regards to the clinical disorders. And never mind mysticism, religion.
Yeah.
This was
originally
this voyeurism under the umbrella of a clinical disorder. David, please.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say I think the Bible should be in the middle of your bed. As a matter of fact, I make love with the Bible on my nightstand. So,
Preach.
If anyone studied the Bonobo tribe, it's a tribe of monkeys, and they participate in orgies, group sex, and all kinds of what we would consider sexual deviance and dysfunction. And if you subscribe to the theory of evolution, then this is our primitive state. So where religion comes in, religion is designed to evolve us past that primitive state. So the goal of religion is to get us away from that animalistic primitive nature that we have, because we did evolve from monkeys and apes. And when you study all these things, so to me, this sounds like a reversion and justification. You're trying to revert back to our primitive nature. You're justifying it by saying, oh, this is what people really want. Of course, because it's in our DNA, because we evolved from monkeys. And this is the type of stuff that we did. But the goal is to evolve and get past that. And religion is the vehicle to move us past that primitive state.
Let me jump in for a second and say I don't subscribe to evolutions. I don't think we come from monkeys. However, I can admit that I have used religion, whether it be the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Quran, the Hadith, the Torah, to shame a woman, to shame her. Get those evil thoughts out of your head. Wash yourself. Get in the tub. Never mind taking a shower. Wash yourself. Soak the coochie. Soak it. I do believe in shaming a woman from time to time with the Bible. King Simon, I want you to land your plane, sir. And I hear you, King Simon, but now I got to come at you because you're close to my generation, man. I want you to say what you mean and stand on it before you go, King Simon.
Greetings. I like Star just said, when we was into religion like that, yes, we would shame people, even shame ourselves.
I shame them with the Bible now.
I could quote Bible quotes. I could quote Quran. I could quote Quranic quotes. I can go back to the nation. I could go through the Sunni. I could go anywhere with it, with people, with anywhere. Jehovah's Witness, Mormon. I could go anywhere with it. At the end of the day, I'm standing on that. There in this realm of existence, this is the realm of experience, and people are going to do what they want to do, regardless of how much David might not like it and how much Sunday might like it, or she might not like it. They're going to stay in with it. And me, as far as I'm concerned, yes, I was in that lifestyle at one time and actually stepped out of it because it just got bored to me and it was just overwhelming. A lot of stuff. It just got worse after, and it did get worse. And then you just want to.
So can you admit, King Simon, that you were slutting out your girlfriend at one point? You were watching her get double penetrated. Niggas
No.
Hang on. Niggas blasting off on her as you stood there, King Simon, smoking the chalice. What were you doing?
Now that didn't happen like that, sir. No, it didn't happen like that. No. Okay. No, it didn't happen like that, sir. No. But first of all, in a swingers lifestyle, you have to have certain protocols was set. He had a meet and greet, and everybody had to get to know each other, and then these things pursued the next day or whatever. We even had tests and examination for diseases and all of that. So we did this. So for real,
stop the cap.
People still asking me why I don't do it anymore. I'm like, no, I don't do it no more. I'm not doing that. So, but I'm letting you know. You're terrible stuff.
King Simon, salute, man. Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Salute to all of y'all, man. The whole family.
Everybody hold on.
Salute.
That's a good man right there, King Simon. What did he say? Meetings and tests and all this other stuff before slutting out some girls. Everybody hold on a second. Thank you for your donation. Wicked Hebrew. Okay, let me try and get some of this stuff on the screen here. And I want to play some other videos with regards to the topic. Okay, thank you for your donation, sir. It's on the screen. Okay. Hi, Lydia. Lydia, the phone lines are open. Come on, call in, join the conversation. I'm not going to be responding to everything in the live chat. That's never how my show works. Call in. I let you talk. I give you the last word. Gangs of Love, back to you, sir. You're a married man. You've got a beautiful family. With regards to the newer generation, can you share with us any type of parameters that you set forth with regards to your family? Not just the kids, but the family. This is how we're moving. This is what we're not doing. We're not going to bring this into the home, stuff like that. Gangs of Love?
Yeah. So, a lot of times people, I guess they, you think, oh, this person is a freak and, but to be honest with you, Star, being the gangster of love and before I got married, I was really never into salacious activities. Again, I was kind of raised by my grandparents and those morals and values kind of stuck with me. And then if you have a moral compass, you realize at some point in life, maybe in your 30s, sleeping with a bunch of women, it's notches under your belt and it might do something to your ego. But at the end of the day, most of them women are not going to be there for you in a sense of like, well, hey, if I need some money and then how many people believe in soul ties? You sleep with a woman and she might have a bad attitude and now all of a sudden you find that rubbing off on you. So me personally, I would never handcuff a woman who has a promiscuous lifestyle. Now, if it's just something to run through, then I probably wouldn't care what she done in the past. But the reason I married my wife is because she was a virgin and I knew it. So for me, and she was beautiful and she had conservative values. So that's something I'm looking for when I'm going to handcuff a woman. But as far as a woman being out there and she has no parameters and no moral compass on sex, she wouldn't be for me. But again, there's a lot of men out here who love 304 and whores. So whores do have a place for us in our society. Now, this younger generation getting into orgies and group sex and whatever the Romans did, that's a whole new thing. That's something that I've never participated in. And I even look down on dudes. You ever heard a person say something to the effect of, oh man, I love to get topped off. And I look at that as being a homosexual activity. But then again, that's my opinion.
Okay. Let me jump in there for a second. On the screen, A Boogie, nothing immoral about fellatio. No, it's not necessarily immoral, but it could put you in the category of being a simp. I can't stand to hear guys, I got some sloppy toppy in the morning. Well, she probably knows how to put you in a vulnerable state in the morning, Anybody want to address makeup sex? Oh, I am so against makeup sex. I've said this before. I've always been like this. I stand on it. Bitch, if your mouth is out of line, don't touch me. I'll touch you when I'm ready, when I feel like, either enough time has passed or you found yourself. You understand what it is that I was trying to teach you or educate you by way of. David D. Cordova, jump in there. Let's go, man. Let's pick this up, this conversation.
I think that voyeurism is going to be big, actually. Even though I'm against it, I predict that it's going to be big because if you look at the current state of
course,
it's going to be huge because if you look at the current state of the culture where the internet is concerned, we've seen POV, we've seen live streams, and basically this is conditioning us to experience life through the lens of somebody else. So we're watching other people enjoy life and go out, and that's called entertainment. So of course this is going to trickle to voyeurism because we're going to want to see other people experience the pleasure of our girlfriend, of our wife. So this is just a sign of the times. We're all victims of the culture. And that's what I believe. So this is going to be on the rise. And of course, it's going to target the weak men because the weak men are the largest consumer base.
Let me jump in there for a second. Project Aries. We're not about to disrespect Top. Let's relax. Well, sir, yeah, Top is Top. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That's a whore's job. My wife will not be giving me Top on a regular basis and then kissing the goddamn babies. Break yourself. Break yourself. Bitch. What's wrong with you?
Star.
Hey, hold on a second. We got to pick the pace up here. Let's get some donations going. Deeds, I got a goal at the top of the goddamn live chat. Let's get it cracking or I got shit to do. Top is the job for a whore. These hoe ass niggas talking about wifey top me off in the morning. You're a goofy.
Yes.
You're a
Say
goofy.
it again, Star, please.
Go ahead, jump in here, gangs of love.
Hey, Star, I'm so glad you said that because a lot of niggas, when I tell them like, bro, you want your woman to be giving you that, and David, if you could, I know you have a history of knowledge with the Bible, but there's a verse in the Bible where the angels came down and they wanted to have sex with, I guess, the boys, and then the gentlemen offered their daughters and said, here, do as you want with them. A lot of people interpret that in a sense of, well, here, you can do whatever you want to your wife because, you know, you guys have already had consummation, but I truly, believe it or not, man, I don't want my woman going down on me and vice versa. The whole purpose of sex was created for reproduction. Yes, it is for pleasure, but I always thought fat dudes had to give girls oral sex because they ain't pushing no weight. But if you're a field Negro and a real FBA eating chicken and watermelon, you ain't got to eat apple pie. You know what I'm saying? But
salute to the old Jamaicans who I came up with once upon a time. He used to say, me no eat nothing that bleeds every 30 days and doesn't die.
Facts. Let's go.
Me no eat nothing
David,
that bleeds every 30 days and doesn't die. Hang on. Hold on a second. Sunday, jump in here. I need Sunday to steer this conversation so we don't go too far off the goddamn rails.
Oh man, I have so much to say in response to what Gangster of Love have said.
Okay, everybody fall back. Okay? Everybody fall back. Let's let Sunday take the wheel. Let's go, Sunday.
Don't sit me down, Sunday. Go ahead.
Well, look, I'm going to call you out for being a liar. I'm not going to sit you down, but you're a liar.
Sunday, can we not do that? Let's just deal with what we're saying.
Well, this is the thing. In order to have a conversation that serves people who are listening, you have to be honest. You can't sit here and lie. You said your wife had a child already. How was she a virgin? She had a child when she met you.
Sunday, can we not do that, please? Sunday.
And Gangster
Star,
of Love,
let me address Star. Let me address her.
Gangster of Love is a freak. Gangster of Love is a freak.
Let me address her, Star.
He's a freak.
Well, hang on, guys. Again, I want to have a Sunday. Listen to me. I want to have a conversation where we're not yelling. We're talking. This is not even a trending topic. I'll probably get no views. I got a goal at the top, and in order to keep this show going, I need for us to just have a little bit of restraint. So can we not do that Sunday? But continue on about the topic. Come on.
Yeah. So I just had to let that out because that's the thing with sex. Anytime there's a discussion, people say what's appropriate in public, and they often mimic what they think is socially acceptable. I couldn't help but see that he was parroting what you said. And I think he's a freak because of his behavior, his past behaviors. He's a freak. And you can tell. If you are a sex worker or a stripper or a whore or whatever you want to call it, you can tell who's a freak and who isn't. Gangster of Love is a freak, and he's just sitting up here lying, trying to make himself look like a different thing than he is. You're a freak. That's what the fuck you are. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. You're a freak. And so, like I said, I think voyeurism and exhibitionism is fantastic. I think it's great. I think that those who are interested in it should participate. My version of it, it does not look like somebody else's version, though. I don't deal with men. I don't like men touching me.
Right.
I deal with women. So if I were to participate in these things, it would be with women. I love to engage with women. Now, if I'm with a man, it's one man only. I have no interest in men touching me. Now, if I'm with a man, we can absolutely have fun with numerous women consensually and participate in this specific kink. I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. Yeah. And a lot of people, the problem with society is that they continuously shame people in the bedroom. We have no place in another person's bedroom. We don't. And I say that again because it's continuously happening.
Right.
Where you're shaming people. Oh, you're finding all these psychological reasons to determine that there's something wrong with them, that they're a defect. And that's not true. Actually, we're liberated is what we are. We're liberated. We're individuals that know ourselves really well. And we're having more deep and meaningful relationships because of it. Instead of having a double life, having to lie and pretend to be one way with our partner, but when they're not around, you're a totally different person.
If I can jump in and say this, never mind other people. I want us to talk and give our own personal views on this topic. Again, responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. David, do you think there is such a thing? I know what your position is by way of religion, but responsible voyeurism, is that such a thing that at some point in time religious people will accept? Or is that too broad of a question?
I don't think religious people will ever accept it. But yes, I would have to agree there is such a thing as responsible voyeurism, because as long as people are taking the precaution and the safety protocols to facilitate this type of activity, then I would consider that responsible. So yes, they can do it in a responsible fashion. Definitely.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is because, the churches, especially the black churches, have bowed down accepting, homosexuality, and, God is love. And you've got all sorts of offshoot branches of Christianity, Methodist churches, Baptist churches, and they accept, homosexuality, which used to be classified as a that was a disorder until 1973. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep, that's true. Yep, definitely.
Guys, hold on a second. We got some calls coming in. As long as we let other people speak. Area code 440. Can you hold? 440?
Yeah, I could hold.
Okay.
Yeah, I could hold.
All right, stay right there. Gangs of Love. When are you going to launch your podcast? I know you're moving, shaking, and popping. You got things going, but when are you going to launch, man? This is, a topic I really want you to chime in on.
So Star, I'm glad you asked. So my show officially will launch April 1st.
Nice.
And then I have one of the biggest names on YouTube that will be on my show April 21st.
Okay.
So y'all stay tuned. It's coming. Gangsta Love in the Closet. That will be the name of my podcast, but it will launch April 1st of.
Oh no.
So yep. And I won't tell you who's gonna be on it, Star. I'll hit you with an email and let you know. But
listen, you can promote whatever you want to do, but I mean this topic now, responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. I'm thrown off. I'm thrown off because again, what I've known to be unacceptable behavior is now becoming acceptable. And with regards to bestiality, I mean, I'm concerned that at some point, that will be acceptable. Hold on a second. Let me acknowledge. Guys, I see your donations. I'm putting them on the screen. Thank you for your support. Chuck in vids online. Thank you. Someone else, star Project Aries star, remind the troll babies about 60. Yes, sir. In the privacy of my home or a hotel. Yes. Not on what do you call that thing? Not streaming for the world to see. Yes, get in some clear hills. Jam an aerosol can in your ass. In the privacy of just the two of us. Everybody, hang on a second. 440.
Star, if I can jump in real quick.
Can you hold on? This person has been on hold.
Yeah, I could.
Thank you for your
patience. Yeah, I could hold on.
No, you've been on hold. Please join the conversation. Watch the language. 440. Good evening.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the government where they interceded with state and church. Okay.
Yes. The establishment clause you're talking about. The establishment clause.
Yeah, the establishment clause. Okay. The whole situation with what was basically they wanted to go into the bedroom,
right,
and they wanted to know your business. Okay. So then you go to 1973 when they put the taxes in with the church, which was that basically the church had the tax exempt. Okay. So then
no, sir. The establishment clause is the separation of church and state. I think you may have it a little twisted around.
Yeah.
That's the establishment clause, separation of church and state. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's go to that point, okay, and then let's speed up a little bit with like all the other indoctrinations that they have put in through the church. Okay, the church has literally caved to the government, and they literally have went against their people. And yes, like you said earlier about homosexual and everything else, God established two genders, man and female.
Let's go.
Okay. So therefore it should be that law. And it's like this, everybody's got their own choice, but if you're doing it in your bedroom, that's cool. I don't want to see furries out on the street. I don't want to see trans men shaking their asses on the street in parades with children around.
Right.
And I don't want to sit there and see like drag story time for children, bookstore.
Disgusting.
You know what I mean?
Disgusting.
Yes, that's completely disgusting. That is the abomination of God. Okay? It truly is an abomination of Jesus. And, the other thing is it's like this. You got to look at it. All these things that are promoted through Hollywood, like I said the other day with Hollywood, with Hugh Hefner and everything else. And the honeypots, they made Hollywood blow up. And they made the celebrities, the music industry blow up. You know what I mean? This is where it takes it back, is that everything was taken from God and church, and basically government ruled inside your bedroom. And that's where it majorly has screwed our society and ultra mind controlled the American people, just not the American people, the whole world.
All right, so I gotta jump in, take a breath. I appreciate you. Stay there. Sunday, are you in transit? Where is Sunday? Where's Sunday?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, listen,
I'm listening.
You are quarterbacking this topic. I don't know about responsible voyeurism. What do you want to respond to what this man is saying? Is he full of it? Does he have a point? Sunday.
I don't agree with him. I don't necessarily agree with some of the advents of society in today's society, but there's not much to do about it. You can't stop somebody from expressing themselves. So it's one of those things where you can continue to be mad, or you can just mind your own. That's really all that it comes down to. We can't continue to be infuriated by somebody else's lifestyle choice, because they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to express themselves. That's how I feel. And I don't know how old he is, but I'm older. I'm 36. I'm not some young girl. Okay. So I've seen just about everything, and I just feel as though there's nothing we can do to stop people from expressing themselves. That's my response in a very general sense.
What about local voting with regards to different counties, states. You know, again, we briefly mentioned bestiality and other things. What's to prevent us from going into that direction in a individual state? If it's okay now to post voyeurism online, you know, and not necessarily behind a paywall, and this becomes acceptable. Is bestiality next?
I think that's a fair question, but I would also argue that there's no correlation between the two. A lot of things that
I'm reaching.
Definite no. Yes, absolutely. There's no correlation between the two because you have to understand if you're an animal rights activist, there's no way for an animal to consent.
Right.
There's no way for an animal to consent.
Right.
Yeah. So then that becomes unethical. And then you also have to understand that usually interspecies don't mix. They don't mix.
Right.
They usually stick to their own species. And so, you know, interracial and interspecies are two different things. And it's just important for people to not confuse the two. Because then again, that contributes to the shaming of society when you try to put something that's a definite abomination to freedom of choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy to just make up scenarios in order to continuously shame people. And I think shaming people sexually is exactly why we have so much perversion, because it's not something that they can fully express. Yeah, absolutely. And then also, I want to introduce the Kinsey scale, which is a proven theory that everybody falls somewhere on the scale of homosexuality. And that there is, yes. And so it's very common for people to execute voyeurism and exhibitionism because they're non-practicing bisexuals due to the Kinsey scale theory, where they fall somewhere on it, but they're not willing to practice. And so one of the reasons why I choose women in my voyeuristic journeys with a male partner or without is because of the homosexuality aspect. Okay. If I was not into women, I do not believe that I would ever consider being a voyeur. So I would imagine that a male who wants their female to be with men is somewhere in the middle of that Kinsey scale of being a bisexual, but they're non-practicing, which is a new term. You can, in your mind and your heart, be attracted to men, but you're never willing to act out on it. So you just watch them and you explore them in other ways that don't play out in real time.
Let me jump in there for a second, Sunday, because when we spoke earlier, you and I...
Are you there?
Yeah, stay there, sir. You're still there. You're in the queue. Hang on.
Okay.
When you and I spoke earlier Sunday, we started talking about queer theory, and then we started talking about gay for play. Somehow we then started talking about Tank, who's he's got a song that I love. Oh God, what is that song? I Don't Think You're Ready. But when he went and sat down with Angela Yee and said, if you smoke a pole, it doesn't mean you're gay. And I said, whoa, I'm done with this guy. You said, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, if you think about it or non-practicing, you could be gay. How did you phrase that?
Well, what I said was, if a man enjoys watching a woman with other men, it is because he is a non-practicing bisexual. There's something about the male anatomy that you are enamored by, but you don't want to be a part of the gay community. You don't want to live that life. You don't want to consider them as an option, but you're very much so turned on and aroused by the male anatomy, same gender. Yes, absolutely. Any man, and that kind of adds to what David said. It doesn't go against what he said, but it adds to it in a different perspective to say, well, some men have deep-rooted desires that they don't ever want to express, and there's quite a few. Like, yes, absolutely. There's quite a few. Because of the shame in society, they're never willing to identify as such or categorize themselves that way. So they would rather find a different outlet. And then also...
Sunday, do you think that a large amount of the incels are homosexuals, the incels community?
Well, it depends. If they have rage towards women, then yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think some people are antisocial and awkward. for whatever reason, and those people tend to be incels. But if you have rage towards women, then yes, I do think that they might also fall somewhere on the Kinsey scale to being more homosexual than not.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because rage towards women is something that you see a lot of gay people doing. A lot of them have rage towards women, 100%.
Can we go back?
Yeah, and then one other.
No.
Can we go back to area code 404? Sir, I don't have your name. 444.
Yeah, this is Anthony.
Anthony, go ahead. You have the floor, Anthony. Go ahead.
Okay, what I gotta ask here is what happened to the Me Too movement? What happened to the Me Too movement, and what do women think about men being in women's sports and men being in women's bathrooms? You know what I mean? I have a daughter. I don't want a man in a woman's sport, and I don't want a man in a woman's bathroom. You know what I mean? That is unlogically thinkable. And that right there is the most disgusting and vile for a woman, that literally that could turn around and, you know what I mean? They already have, it's LGBT plus, and it was going to go into the pedophilia. And that's what they were planning on doing. They were going to announce pedophilia, okay, with children. That's what they wanted to do in the end. That's what they want to do in the end. They wanted to go towards the children. And, you know, that's the most disgustingest thing, that you could actually, as a woman, sit there and think that gay people are okay to go into a woman's bathroom or turn around and dance in front of a child. How could you sit there as a parent or a mother, turn around and logically think in your brain that you could have your 3-year-old daughter put $1 in a man's garter while he's dancing in front of your child? The other thing is also, how could you turn around and state, okay, we were talking earlier about basically, you know, the fetishes and stuff. Kanye put it straight up, you can't make a hoe a housewife. You know what I mean? So what's the principle out there if you're going to go out and be those type of people and then turn around and try to be a wife in the end, which is completely ignorancy on your behalf as a woman and any type of woman? And I'm not judging upon women, but the society, as she did state, is very screwed up, and I will give her the credit on that. You know what I mean? You cannot choose. Everybody, God gave a choice to pick and choose what you want to do. If you want to live towards the devil, then you're going to live towards the devil. If you're going to live towards God, you're going to live towards God. Okay? I'm not a Bible thumper. I will straight up state, though, the aspect is, if you want to live that life, you're living in sin, period. An abomination, yes, it is. And it completely, in all aspects, is, they have indoctrinated our children so bad, literally to the point, like, literally, you got furries walking around in the school pooping in poop boxes that they're, you know what I mean? So why don't you just, instead of handing them a little room, why don't you let them poop inside the whole entire hallway so all the kids could see it, and then embarrass them? You know what I mean? So
I got to jump in. Stay with me. You're making some good points.
Screwed up.
Sir, hold on.
You know what I mean?
Anthony, hold on.
Yes.
Stay there. I got to clear the line. Gangs of Love, can you land your plane, sir? Gangs of Love. I got to bring other people on.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I'm going to land my plane. I just wanted to tell Sunday, there's no ambiguity in sexuality as far as being bisexual. Either you're gay or you're straight. There is no such thing as bi.
Yep.
So I'll land my plane on that.
Well, hang on now. How do you know, Gangs of Love? Have you ever tried the other side?
No, Gangsta Love has never tried the other side, and that's why I'm saying, without doubt, right. you can't be into men.
Are you talking about with men or women? Sorry, am I on mute?
You're not on mute. You're not on mute, Sunday. You're not on mute.
Are you talking about there's no such thing as bi with men and women?
I'm saying it for sure. As a man, you can't. For sure, men.
Wait, so
I can't speak for women.
Can be bi? Okay. That's okay. Well, unfortunately, that's not true, because he has the celebrity that we were referencing earlier has a long-term girlfriend of 6 years, And, we don't have to agree or believe people, but bisexual is a thing. There's a lot of men who like both. And I personally like both as well. So, I mean, if one is true for females, it has to be true for men too. It's not exclusive to women.
Okay.
It's not exclusive to women.
Hold on, Sunday.
There's double standard.
And Gangs of Love, I was just picking with you. Whenever somebody asks you, how do you know you're not gay? You simply say, well, I've never smoked a crack rock, but I know it's not good for me. Hey, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, Gangsta Love got tough skin. Hey, Star, thank you for letting me come on.
Sir.
If you like it, I love it. I wear my heart on my sleeves. The Gangsta Love, I'm out.
Okay, salute. Okay. Everybody hang on a second. David D. Cordova, you still with me?
Oh, you bet. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony, I need you to land your plane because I'm getting some calls coming in here. I appreciate your input. Where do you want to start? Anthony.
Okay, just get out of there. I know you got other calls going on. Just one thing to go. It's like this. Society needs to really take a look at themselves. Okay, we cannot allow this to keep on going on the way it's going. You know what I mean? It's like the PDD freak off parties. We got to look at it that way. A lot of them were using all that baby oil. So, all this is going back to that. As like I said, the celebrities, the Hollywood people, and it just ruined our society. Period. You never heard about this stuff back in like the 80s, and it was out there, but it wasn't as bad. So what I'm trying to basically state is we got to get back to morals and values to the children, give it back to the children, and start teaching them how to actually live in society without being indoctrinated with all this stuff that's going on. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? It's okay to go to a bar, do what you want. Don't promote it on the children, and don't allow it to be put in the women's sports or the women's bathroom.
Okay.
Because it's like what Tampon Tim did over there. He allowed tampons to go into the men's bathrooms from K to 12, and that was Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's, vice president. So.
Anthony, I got to cut you short, man. I appreciate you. I got to take other calls. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, guys, hold on a second. We're having some good calls here. Folks, at the top of the live chat is the link for Streamlabs or text-to-speech donations. Text-to-speech. Sometimes people want their donations read by AI, so you can use that link at the top of the live chat. And we have the goal at the top of the live chat as well. Thank you for your continued support. The Watcher says on the screen, Gangsta of Love in the closet. Pause. Why even allude to that? Jesus. David, stay with me, David. Hold on a second. Let me bring in area code.
Sure.
203. Good evening. Please watch the language. We're discussing responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. Area code 203.
Good evening, Star.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Where do you want to start, sir?
Yeah, just in regards to the, I guess you guys are talking about males who are, I guess, they don't know if they're homosexual or things like that. Or
no, sir. We're talking about responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. The conversation went into that direction, but that's not the main topic.
Okay.
Can you see the topic?
Okay.
Can you see the topic?
I can. I can. I just thought that
I need you to get on topic. Sunday is
all right.
Sunday is quarterbacking this. I have very little knowledge, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have too much knowledge of that neither.
Okay.
I'm not into that. Yeah,
okay.
So I'll let.
Well, thank you, sir. Have a good night. Thank you so much. Let's get him out of here. You want to talk about homosexuality? Hey there. Good evening. Please watch the language. Do you want to join the conversation? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Star. My name is Detroit Ziggy.
Detroit, how are you, man? Ziggy, Ziggy?
Yes, I'm always on your chat room. Thank you.
Okay. Ziggy, Detroit Ziggy. Go ahead, sir.
Yes. Sunday, David, how are you?
They're right there.
Wonderful.
Go ahead, sir.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Wonderful. So is it voyeurism or is it the word I haven't heard yet tonight? Polygamy. Because it's okay in Utah for the gentleman to have 7 wives and 29 children, correct?
But, sir, we're talking about responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. That's our topic. Please stay on topic.
Right. So I don't see the difference, right? Obviously, somebody is being manipulated. 7 women are being manipulated by 1 man, correct? So what's the difference between what this gentleman in Utah is doing and then what Joe Button is doing, or what Diddy is doing, or what are we living in biblical times? Are we living in Julius Caesar times? Right? He was a homosexual from what we've read. Correct? Was he a king?
Hey, Detroit Ziggy, I need you to answer your own questions. I'm doing 5 things here. But with regards to what we're discussing, and again, Joe Budden is not the main focus here. I just used that clip to spark the conversation. I'm kind of concerned that he would even come out and say this in the climate of Diddy going to jail, but it's not just about Joe Budden. The title, voyeurism, can you speak to that? Are you okay with it? Are you against it? Let's focus on voyeurism, please.
I believe everybody has a choice. If you have a choice, it's not criminal. If you're being manipulated, I believe it is criminal.
Okay.
And I'll land my plane with that.
I appreciate the call. Thank you, man. Yes, sir.
Enjoy your evening.
Okay. That was Detroit Ziggy tapping in. David, back to you. You wanted to address one of my other topics. You said you wanted to clarify Black women leaving the church for witchcraft. Now, I'm not going to play that video, but that was a story, a report. There's some data. What did you want to clarify? What did you want to clarify?
Absolutely. And I just like to preface by saying the 2 topics are actually relatable, because as far as Black women leaving the church for witchcraft and what we're talking about voyeurism, the common denominator is weak men, because it all deals with weak men. So it's both interrelated, because witchcraft is designed to manipulate weak men. But before I go on, if I could just say, I just wanted to address something that was said earlier, because I believe it was said that rage towards women is rooted in homosexuality. No, I don't believe that, because I think the rage towards women is rooted in sexual repression. Because if you look at the word grape, I'll say grape, I doubt those people are homosexual. They ain't gay. They're not gay, the ones that commit the act of grape. So it's not rooted in no homosexuality. It's rooted in sexual repression, because they can't get no pussy. That's why. So I disagree with that. And another thing I like to say is that love techniques were taught amongst women on the island of Lesbos. So everything is encoded in your bloodstream, in your genetics, in your genes. That's why we have Genesis, genetics, the first book of the Bible, right? So we can talk all we want, but the true litmus to me, this sounds like porn. You ever hear porn stars defend porn? But then when someone asks them, hey, would you let your daughter do it? They're like, hell no.
Right.
Right. So that, so it's like, oh yeah, let's go to the banquet and all 20 of us, let's get loose tonight. Let's all screw each other. Yeah, but if your daughter wants to do that when she turned 8 for her 18th birthday, you would say, what's wrong with you? No. So we have to be truthful and honest. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have a level of compassion and empathy for people with these types of sexual desires. I agree with Sunday on that. I'm not about shaming nobody. What I'm saying is that this is rooted in our bioevolutionary, as a species. This is these sexual desires come from that. That's it, right? So if you want to choose religion, it's to depart, it's to move away from the carnality to go into the spiritual. That's it. But if you want to stay in the freaknik, by all means, continue with the freak party. Ain't nobody stopping you. That's fine. Do what you got to do. You can justify it. Okay. That's all.
Sunday, are you still driving? And I know you can't stay on long, Sunday, but do you want to respond to what David's saying, or do you want to address one of the other differences between voyeurism and voyeuristic disorders? Sunday?
I think, a lot of what David is saying is an opinion that he's entitled to. I do want to address, though, more factors of voyeurism in itself, because I don't want to debate David to say that he's wrong. That is a perspective. That is a truth, but not the whole truth. So one of the things that people don't realize is that some men have sexual dysfunction. It's very hard to imagine how that could be for a young male or a male in his early 40s to experience sexual dysfunction, but that is a real thing. And rather than lose their partner because of it, they allow them to be with other men. Now, me, I would never be with different men. That's never something I've done or have any interest in. But I have encountered men who have sexual dysfunction and they allow their women to be with males, and they've turned it into a kink because it's a regular practice in their home. And I don't think there's any reason to shame those individuals. Like, if they're not able to stay erect long enough in order to satisfy their female partner, and they understand that there's a lot of love, but that's a need that their woman has, then yeah, they're going to allow them to be with other people. And that's a reality that some men live. It's not very common, but it is a part of voyeurism as well. We don't know what the sexual function is of the men who participate in those sort of activities. There's a lot of reasons for it. There's medical reasons. Sometimes if you take certain medications for chronic illnesses, it causes ED. And we have to be compassionate to those individuals who want to still maintain a loving relationship with their partners. I feel like keeping an open mind is essential because, again, when you shame people, that's when you get more criminality, that's when you get more perversion, and that's when you get more of the thing that you don't want.
Can I jump in?
I agree with you.
Hold on a second. Sunday, can I jump in and somewhat sort of try to champion what you've just said and help me out here? Because, again, this is not my world, responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. I think people, who partake in that are perverts. But that's just me. Does voyeurism does it lower the grape numbers? Is it some type of preventive thing that can be has it been studied? Is there data to show that voyeurism doesn't contribute to people going out, and graping people? Any data with regards to that, Sunday? Any truth?
I'm not able to but I do want to
your phone's breaking up. Sunday, your phone's breaking up.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second.
Give it a second.
Can you hear me better?
A little better. Yes, a little better. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say that I think one of the obvious benefits to voyeurism, because I'm not able to do research at this moment, is that it allows people to consent. So they're helping.
Her phone's going in and out.
Yeah.
David, what do you think? Do you think voyeurism helps prevent grape?
Absolutely. Most definitely. And I think society makes allowances for this type of sexual deviancy because it's called the necessity of evil. You have to have it because you have to satisfy these dysfunctions. Otherwise, it will manifest in crime and grape and all that other stuff. That's why I'm not shaming it. I just say it has to be regulated, okay, and it has to have restrictions. But yeah, I'm not against it, not at all, because you have a bunch of repressed sexual people. If they don't have an outlet to recreational activity, an outlet to do this, then what's going to happen, right? So sexual repression leads to sexual misconduct. So we have to find a way to facilitate people's desires. So I agree with Sunday in that regard. I do.
Well, hang on, because I'm not necessarily sure. I'm just asking. Years ago when I was on the radio, I used to talk about dogging over in different parks in the UK, and I don't know if it's still a big thing, but anybody in the live chat from the UK, where were those parks? Was it in England or on the outskirts where guys Guys would take their wives, their girls, and let other men smash them. Now, I don't know if they were filming back then or if they would just pull up and open up the back of a goddamn a van, and like 5 guys would, one at a time, go smash the wife. You guys ever heard of dogging, Sunday or David?
I heard you mention it one time on the show.
Yeah.
Can you Google it?
Yeah, I did too.
Can you Google it, David? Dogging in the UK. I can't Google right now.
So I'll look it up.
I have heard you reference it, and I'm familiar with it in the gay community with men, and I think it's horrible. I don't think that it's a good thing. It's not good for the man either. They're impulsive in doing so, and it's not good for their health. There's a lot of health issues in that community, and they're spreading it by continuously hooking up with strangers. And I think voyeurism is not to be confused for that. There's healthy, ethical ways to practice voyeurism. That's what I was trying to say before. And I think that I don't see how it correlates with rape. I don't see it reducing the occurrence, but I see it allowing for people to have more lasting love relationships. Because when you have fantasies that are unfulfilled, it leads to cheating. It leads to infidelity, and that causes a lot of problems within the family dynamics. I think it could lessen the divorce rate. That's what I think.
Stay there. David, what'd you find? Dogging in the UK. Dogging.
Yes, the activity of dogging, where individuals engage in sexual acts in a public or semi-public place, or watching others do so, is not a specific offense under English law. So I think that means it's legal.
When did it become popularized? Dogging in the UK.
British English slang for engaging in sexual acts. Let's see. Oh, let me type in when it became legalized. Okay. Legalized. And, okay, so Section 5 of the Public Order Act, 1986, relates to exposure.
Dogging.
Let me rewrite this.
Hold on a second. Anybody in that live chat from the UK, can you call in? Phone numbers on the screen. I used to talk about this back in the days, and people were like, what? What the hell is this? The George Michael from the group Wham. You guys heard of George Michael, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. George Michael used to smoke crack rock and go into the parks. And he was blowing tops and all sorts of crazy shit. He got arrested a few times, and then one time he got so high he fell asleep behind the wheel in one of those parks. But it was a big thing. What do you got, David? Any more information on dogging?
Yeah, so I think in 2003, sexual activity in a public laboratory, a specific offense in the Sexual Offenses Act, I think it's just decriminalized in some places. It says it falls under a gray area rather than being explicitly legal. So I think there's room for it to take place.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's not explicitly stated.
Okay. Well, hey, Sunday, I know you're driving. I don't want to hold you up. I appreciate you. Anything else you want to say? You don't have to rush, but I want you to land your plane. I know you're in transit to that place.
Yeah. I think this is a fantastic, amazing topic, mainly because there are so many people that live in the shadows, and they're very much so like a part of the shaming culture. But then if you look at how they really are, they're not living what they say out publicly.
Okay.
And so I think this conversation is freeing, and it's going to spark curiosity in those who already had an interest. And I think it's a healthy discussion. I really value what David. Yeah, I really value David's input as well, and I thank you for having me, Star.
Well, hang on a second. Before you go, you've done a great job, because again, I wasn't sure about this topic tonight. Here's the one question I do want to ask you.
Okay.
Do women need to be shamed at times? Do women need to be shamed at times? They're very emotional. And they if you have daughters, sisters, aunties, they can run over you. If you're a male, if you're not a strong man, they can run over you. Do women need to be shamed at times to walk the straight and narrow?
All right. Well, my response to that is I have a very biased response. I think women should be. Yeah, I think women should be shamed as it pertains to relations with men.
Okay.
Now, if a woman is with multiple men, I think they should be shamed. Okay. I think that is deplorable and disgusting. Now, should a woman be shamed for engaging in, female to female activity? Absolutely not. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman having numerous female partners, but I do think that a woman being with a bunch of men is
sacrilege.
Disgusting. It is nasty, and it is filthy for them to want to be with numerous men. Because with women, it's not. There's no like penetration with flesh. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no penetration with flesh. If they use a toy, it's plastic, it's silicone, it's rubber. So that soul tie stuff that David was referring to I think it was Gangster of Love, it doesn't apply. There's no soul tie with women. You could literally just get pleasured and leave. But the soul tie happens with men. When they're inserting their penis into you, that is a huge commitment, and it's not something you can wash off. I think it's disgusting.
Sunday, I have to ask you one more question before you go. I ask you this with all due respect. Do you despise the touch of a man?
No, I like men, just one man only. I don't like numerous. If it was anything more than one man, I'm disgusted. I would never let two men touch me. That's never going to happen, ever. You'd have to kill me first. That's how I feel. I don't like men.
Do you put the strap on to peg a man? Do you try that with the guy? Do you say, hey, I think I want to peg you? Do you go?
So again, I'm a hypocrite to say I'm a hypocrite, but any man who is homosexual or bisexual is an immediate turnoff for me. I don't like men who like men. I don't.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Do you try a guy? Do you, if you're with the guy who you like, do you say, hey, I'm going to ask this guy, can I peg him just to see what he'll say?
Yeah.
Do you do that?
I think that's a fair question, but the type of woman that I am, I like dominant men, and that is a submissive act. And so, no, I would never peg a man because I'm not a dominant female. I might be a loudmouth, but I like men who are dominant. And so a dominant man would never partake in those activities.
Okay. Sunday, I so appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. We'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Sunday did a great job. David, stay with me. David D. Cordova.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Guys, this is not a trending topic. Please hit the like button. I wanted to try this discussion. I wasn't sure. We appear to be doing okay. I'm not going to play the video of 6ix9ine, the home invasion. It's out there. You can go to TMZ. I don't feel like, playing it and then having to edit it out. Did you guys see the video? Tekashi down in Florida. I'm glad his mom is okay. Palm Beach County, Florida. Yet you had what appeared to be 4 specs. Not spics, specs. You see, there's a difference. A spec speaks English. They are of, Hispanic descent. It's different from, once upon a time when people came here and they could not speak English. And that's why they call them spics, no speaking English. But I saw what appeared to be 4 young specs. They had the 9mm. Thank God. I mean, there is no God, but thank God they didn't shoot the dog. I was worried about the dog. Anybody watched the footage? And I said, oh, God, please don't shoot the dog, Pistol whip his mom. Pistol whip his mom if you must, but please don't shoot the dog. I can watch niggas and specs get shot, set on fire, stabbed, and all sorts of crazy shit. But if you heard a goddamn dog All right, Cat, off with your effing head. Hold on a second, guys. Deeds, thank you so much. Always with the help, guys. Can I ask you to send a small token of your appreciation to Deeds? You see how much work she does. We do use Cash App, guys, but it's through Deeds Cash App. It's on the screen. Okay. Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg. Sir, do you want to call in and promote your platform? Premium Black News. I got your Venmo donation. Okay. And a couple of people sending donations. Guys, I do not want to take shots at Joe Budden. That was not the point of playing that video earlier. It was just to spark the conversation. Responsible voyeurism versus criminal voyeurism. Phone lines are open. David, what do you want to say, man? Are you done, or do you got more to add to the conversation?
Oh, yeah, definitely. If we want to talk about this whole witchcraft thing, all the black women that are leaving the church for witchcraft, I believe that these women are powerless, and they can't affect any outcome in their life. So they have to revert back to these primitive types of ancient mysticism in order to affect the result. But it's a waste of time, man, because it all works with the law of attraction. Witchcraft is just manifestation, right? So you can manifest things or attract them into your life, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to keep it. So your ability to retain it has to be there. So it's all about retention, not manifestation. And I like to tell people that the people that they think that are the witches are not really the witches. These women are just playing dress up, right? So the real witches out there, they're the ones who are getting the bag. They're the ones who are getting the money. Those are the witches, not these women that are running around sprinkling dust and powder. It's the women on the first class flights. It's the women that are shopping, tearing up the mall. And guess what? Witchcraft is what's keeping the economy going. Because it's these women. Have you seen? Look at the malls and the stores. How do you think they stay open? The average woman has to save up to buy that purse. These girls can buy it any day of the week, right? So witchcraft is keeping the economy going. It's keeping the stores going because the witches are the ones that are able to manipulate the men, right? So this is what people don't understand. They're looking in the opposite direction. They think these women playing dress up.
Can I jump in, David D. Cordova? Can I jump in?
Sure. Please, yeah.
Stay with me. Ain't no Africa, America on Google Maps. Thank you for your comment. Elvis, the Chef Rosenberg, is always welcome to call in. I want to get your information on the screen, David. I'm not trying to line you up, but you have you have a platform. Today's Religious Talk. It's on YouTube. Now, if you don't want to answer the question, that's fine, because I know what you do, what you do outside of the show. And you might say, Star, that's not something I want to I don't want to go down that path and cause an issue with regards to what you do. But my question was, burning women at the stake during the Middle Ages, was it necessary?
No, I don't think it's necessary, because I think a lot of those
hang on. Can I ask you this question again? Because some people got it real twisted. If you Google burning of women in England, you know this already, David. I'm talking to the audience. In England, death by burning was a legal punishment inflicted on women found guilty of high treason, petty treason, during the Middle Ages and early modern period, over a period of several centuries. Yeah. Not a couple of weeks, not a couple of months, not 5, 20, or 30 years, centuries. Was the burning of women at stakes necessary in the manifestation of mankind? David.
No, because they burned the witches and they kept the prostitutes alive when the prostitutes were actually the real witches. So they burnt the wrong ones. So the answer is no, because witchcraft is the sin of sexual manipulation, and that occurs in.
David, I have to jump in.
Sure.
This was legal punishment, not necessarily for witchcraft. High treason, petty treason. Bitch, you stole something. Bitch, you stole something. Bitch, I just came home from work and you didn't clean up this goddamn sloppy house. I'm gonna take you down to the town square. I'm gonna light you ablaze, bitch. I mean, it was like that. It wasn't, just witchcraft.
Yeah, no.
We were talking about guidelines, parameters. Let me look in the live chat. We're talking about, getting people in line, not just witchcraft. Yeah. Hold on, David, stay with me.
Sure.
Here you go. Here we go. Now we're talking Jezebels are high priestess, low vibrational queens are high priestess, high vibrational. Okay. Stay with me, David. Bitch, you stole a loaf of bread? Say word. Shit was that simple. Bitch, no dinner? No dinner? Okay, no, who is that? No. I was trying to get one on the screen here. Who was that? God Shiz TV. No dinner? Let's go, bitch. I gotta walk you downtown. Guys, phone lines are open. The Realist, I got your PayPal donation. Sunday needs to let y'all know she loves the coochie every 5 minutes. It's almost as if she's trying to convince herself because she's still using the plastic love muscle to please herself, and it causes her guilt. We get it. You love licking the cooch. Thank you for your donation, The Realist. All right. David said, I'm going to bring you in. Also, let me say this, guys, with regards to anybody who has been blocked, my eyes aren't what they used to be. Just contact Deeds. Her information is right there. You don't have to do a whole explanation. Just send her a cash app and say, hey, can you unblock my YouTube channel? I was wilding, Nobody needs you to apologize. Just, send her a donation and she will unblock you, okay? All right, let me bring in David D. Cordova. David, are you there? Monday night.
Yes. Yep. Okay, so we're looking at criminal voyeurism versus legal voyeurism. So it's a bit of a lengthy definition, but
take your time.
Criminal voyeurism is an unauthorized and surreptitious viewing or recording of someone who has a reasonable expectation of privacy, particularly in situations where they are nude or engaging in sexual activity, or when the recording is for a sexual purpose. And while legal voyeurism is also known as legal surveillance. So in this instance, it's when an observation or recording occurs with a lawful purpose, such as for legitimate security reasons, but is still subject to strict guidelines and limitations. So it's just saying that the key difference, the distinction between the two, is that it's whether the act of an invasion of privacy that causes harm is occurring, which is illegal, or justified or authorized observation that serves as a greater social purpose. So I think it has to do more with the permission. That's the main thing. So.
Stay with me. This world of responsible voyeurism, it's really tricky. Mm-hmm. And again, all of these terms that I, was stumbling upon, consensual voyeurism versus clinical disorders, ethical, it's horse shit to me, but I can understand where we are going in society. Laws have to be revamped, revised. There has to be something that, gives a landlord, a homeowner, some type of wiggle room. If I rent my Airbnb to you and you did not read the fine print that I will be filming everything that goes on in this house. If you did not read that, then I do have the right to film. If you're plowing your girl, if you're plowing your buddy, or your buddy puts a saddle on you, he's plowing you, or you just whatever. I mean, and does this become part of someone's archive? Does it pop up on one of these dark web websites? Anybody want to chime in on that? The dark web. The dark web. David, have you ever seen?
No, I heard it. I definitely heard of the dark web, but it's funny because when you said that, I was thinking of that movie Sliver with Sharon Stone. Do you remember that movie?
Never mind that. Have you ever seen a snuff?
Yeah.
A snuff film?
No. I never seen that before.
Really?
No.
Let me look in the live chat real quick. Anybody ever seen a snuff? I'm sure yet they have in the live chat. You know what a snuff film is, David?
Never heard of it.
Google it. We got a little time tonight.
Snuck? Is it called SNUCK?
S is in Sam, N is in Nancy. U is in under snuff.
Snuff show?
Snuff film. Huh. What you got there?
Snuff. SNUFF?
S is in Sam, N is in Nancy, U is in under, F is in Frank. F is in Frank.
Oh, okay.
Snuff.
Okay.
Snuff film.
Let's see what this is about. Oh my God. A pornographic movie of an actual murder. Hell no, I haven't seen this. No.
You've never heard of that?
Jesus. I know BDSM and all that other stuff, but not.
Anybody want to chime in with regards to snuff films? I mean, I think that's the next logical step. Yes, no? Now that we've got responsible voyeurism, well, there should be something that allows a murder. Hang on a second. I just watched this trash film the other day. I think I spoke about this yesterday. The new Running Man film, trash. And for those who don't know, it's not a sequel. It's not a prequel. The new Running Man film is just a new adaptation. Supposedly, it's closer to the book that Stephen King wrote once upon a time. All that means is that they're just trying to repackage it. It's not that good, and it's got some DEI stuff going on. I won't spoil it for you. Maurizio, okay, you're scared to call in. Oh, wow. Somebody took it back to Faces of Death. He took it back. Let me see if there's another video that we should play with regards to this topic. Hang on, I do have some notes. Oh, and there's a video that I want to play with regards to the mother of the pregnant woman in Dallas, Texas. Give me a second. Okay, this came out 8 months ago, this particular story. What are the legal consequences of video voyeurism? I think this will add some context to what we're talking about. Hold on a second, guys. Let me get this set up here and get this comment off the screen. Let's go.
Like, I have friends who are like, I was in that bathroom 2 days ago, and they were like really nervous about it.
A disturbing discovery in a public bathroom at Rhode Island College. A student says he found a camera hidden next to a sprinkler head. Providence police are now trying to figure out who put it there. Target 12 investigator Tim White broke this story and is here now with the details. And Tim, as you reported, after the student told a staff member about this camera, it disappeared. But he took video of it first. So what are the potential legal consequences here?
Well, if police catch the person, the charge would likely be video voyeurism. This law went into effect in 2004. It prohibits the installation of any so-called imaging device to record or transmit images of, quote, intimate areas without a person's knowledge and consent. It's a felony that comes with a sentence of up to 3 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. Now, other charges could be added depending on the facts of the case. For instance, if a child used the bathroom, the person could be charged with creation and possession of child pornography. That could be a federal crime with significant prison time.
So do you have a sense, Tim, as to how often someone is actually charged with video voyeurism?
Well, it's not something that happens all the time, but it's not uncommon. And to give you an idea, a couple of years ago, Target 12 obtained 3 years of felony data from the Rhode Island Attorney General's office. I took a look at it this morning. And between 2019 and 2022, 17 people were charged with video voyeurism. I don't have the most recent data, but that window of time shows a little more than 5 people a year on average are charged.
And Tim, you were on Rick's campus yesterday talking to students about this whole thing, and the school is telling you this does appear to be an isolated incident?
Yeah, that's right. They said as soon as it was reported to campus police, they checked all public bathrooms on campus and didn't find any other cameras. Now, I went to Donovan Dining Center yesterday and reporting on this story. It's the main place for students to eat on campus. Very busy when I was there. And the bathroom where the student says he spotted a camera is on the 2nd floor. It's a unisex bathroom right up there. I saw 2 of them, and students say they're popular because it's one at a time. So there's, under normal circumstances, more privacy. Now, the big question from those I talked to beside who did it is how long was it there and how many people have been captured on that camera. Kayla and Kim, as you can imagine, it was upsetting.
Okay. Phone lines are open. I want to continue the discussion. You don't have to be an expert on voyeurism. Just give us your thoughts. David D. Cordova still on the line with me. Hang on a second. Now, Deeds. Mm-hmm. Deeds, I got your comment on the screen, but now sometimes when I send you videos, you say, I'm not into that stuff, like violence. Okay, you said you used to watch cartels beheading people. Okay, so she's gotten past it. I know she told me she can't watch some of that stuff that people are doing now. Sadly, I have to admit that I wake up to the bullshit. I want to see somebody getting punched, shot, stabbed. I mean, that gets me going with my coffee. Hang on a second. Montero, I got your donation. Thank you very much. Hey, yes, man. Can you please hit the like button? That's very important for this particular topic. A lot of people just, may not really get it. And it's not a trending topic, but that would be great if you could hit the like button. Okay. Thank you so much. Blade, you sent me a couple of emails. I'm not sure where you're going. Oh, guys, Blade and a few people are upset at Mayor Eric Adams in New York. I'm not going to play that video with Mayor Eric Adams in Israel. Anybody care? Okay, Deed says, yeah, I had to fall back. That shit follows you in your dreams. Okay. David, what else, man? Criminal voyeurism versus responsible voyeurism.
It's funny because I was actually just looking up public filming, right? Because I thought, because this is public filming is generally legal in most places. So I was trying to see where it kind of tied in with the conversation. And nowhere does it ever mention anything sexual. It just relates to like trespassing, obstruction, because it's legal to publicly film, right? So say you're filming women all day, walking by in like spandex, right? That could be considered a form of voyeurism, maybe. But how can they get you? Because it says, unless it involves trespassing on private property, creating a public nuisance, or obstructing police, or violating privacy laws, it's permissible. It's allowed. So I think there's some gray areas that need to be explored, right? So
there's got to be gray areas because we see videos with people in public settings, whether they be Walmart or other places. Raymond, I got your donation. Thank you, sir. And they're putting they're putting cameras up under women's skirts and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, and bathroom stalls, all that. And some people carry a camera to avoid being racially profiled. when they go into certain department stores and establishments, they videotape. So this has become like a new thing. So, who's to tell what purpose they're using it for? But, the law enforcement has to crack down on this. But
I'm more so talking about, just whereas you just said filming. I used to see videos maybe 5 years ago with guys just filming women's asses walking in the street. Now, I've never heard anybody necessarily face legal ramifications behind that, but maybe there's some laws that they put in place that slowed that down. Area code 617.
I hope so.
Area code 617. Are you there? Good evening, 617.
Good evening, sir. Speedy calling out of Boston.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good, sir. I happen to like voyeurism.
Okay.
Now, me personally, I know people, they got up paywalls and all that. If I'll give 2 hints, it's on YouTube.
Well, I don't want to promote somebody's platform if that's what they're doing. I want to I want to have the discussion to know where you stand. Is this a good thing? Is this society going to hell? Where do you stand?
Me personally, I like it. But if the normal, I don't know about normal, but if a person that isn't into, hasn't had any madness or any, maybe a little shy, they might be a little nervous.
Okay.
But on the free, I don't want to promote nothing, but Hillary Clinton, her campaign manager, John Podesta.
Well, hang on a second. Never mind Hillary Clinton. You say voyeurism is okay with you. Can you just give us a little background? How old are you?
35.
Okay. What type of voyeurism do you partake in, if you can enlighten us? What type of voyeurism?
A little nastiness. I like nastiness, but I don't want to know anybody. I don't want to dive deep. But then I end up doing it anyway.
Okay.
I'm not trying to dive deep and know the person and know whose brains are on the wall.
No. I'm just talking about what type of voyeurism. Do you like to see girls take a dump on a guy? What is it that, without being too vulgar, what is it that you watch and you say, hey, I got my fix. That's my kink, and I don't bother nobody, and I pay my taxes.
Extremely.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I own all my property. Extremely loud, extremely not obnoxious, extremely focused. I don't want to know of or anybody, but and not too clear. I don't really want to know too much. I just want to just get into madness and kind of moonwalk on out of there.
You said moonwalk out of there. Now, you don't have to say your name, of course. You're in your 30s. What is your ethnicity, sir?
White.
Okay. Usually, opposites attract. Is it fair? Is it fair to say you watch? What is that stuff called, David? The ghetto gaggers. You're into black chicks who take it deep.
No, not even close.
Okay.
Maybe on a Sunday.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to giggle, but on a Sunday maybe, but not usually. Not usually.
Can you give us something, sir? You said nasty. What type of deviant behavior in the privacy of your home that prevents you from going out, doing anything in public? What is it? Come on, give us some type of clue here.
I wake up. I've turned it all the way up. I'll put it on my earphones, but I'll blast it, crank it, and then I'm like, whoa, yeah! And then I'm done.
I don't get the visual. David, can you help me out? I'm trying to.
No, my porn days are done. I've evolved. I've gone past that. That was a high school thing.
Oh no, there's not much clothes involved.
Okay.
Yeah, thank God I got out that. Hey man, do you?
Is somebody screaming while they're dying, or are they?
They're alive at the moment. Once they're done screaming, they're dead.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh, John Podesta. You'll know all about him.
Okay.
God real.
Damn.
Hey, man, I appreciate the call. Salute, buddy.
Thanks, Star. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right.
All right.
Me looking at a live chat. Sheesh. He said they're alive at the moment. Can you read into that, David? What was he talking about? People. It's something.
That was. I think it was about that snuff film type stuff. That's what it sounded like to me. Yeah.
Sounded like somebody.
I think he's on that tip.
Screaming as they're dying.
God damn, that's. Yeah. Well.
All right. Listen, David. Let's take one more call, and then I'm gonna shift gears. I thank you for hanging in there and helping me comb through this. Hey, did we speak already? 440. Good evening.
Yeah, I'd like to reply to that guy.
Is this Anthony?
Yeah.
Can you make it short, man? What's going on? You want to respond to what he said?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he is right about the Podesta thing, but he's talking about the bestiality that went with Adam Schiff and Dick. I gotta think of his name.
That's what it sounded like, but I don't want to put too many names to it. But now, you don't know.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So he is out of his mind, and he's into freak and fetish, and you know what I mean. That's where he's going with the Podesta thing, and that's what the Podesta thing was all about. Yeah. And that was the Pizzagate and everything else. So, you got to look at. Yeah, the Pizzagate. Yeah, they just said that the Clintons. I was just watching this on Newsmax that the Clintons are refusing to come in to Congress, so they're going to indict them real soon. So this is all going to be exposed real soon here, real soon. So
Anthony, I got to get back on topic, man. Thank you for
real quick though. I will mark my words. I will call you back in 3 months.
Okay.
Clinton will be arrested. Clinton and her husband will be arrested.
All right, Anthony, got to go, man. Salute. Okay. Anthony again calling back. He says the Clintons will be arrested. Okay. David D. Cordova, you want to land your plane? Thank you, man, for
yes, sir,
hanging in there with me and discussing this topic. Where do you go, David?
It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the different people and conversation. Yeah, I just want to say, everyone, please go check out my channel, Today's Religious Talk. I just released a new video the other day. It's called Why You Should Never Pray for Money, because it will keep, never ever pray for money because it will keep you broke. It's a short video, about 8-9 minutes, and it's really impactful. So I'd encourage you all to check it out. And I really just enjoyed hanging out tonight and the conversation, all the panelists, everyone that was in.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care, David.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Right.
Salute.
David D. Cordova. On the screen, youtube.com/@today's religious talk. Okay.